Yo, what's good? It's a Crazy Riot show with Lake County Media. I'm here with a very special guest. This young guy, man, I had the privilege and honor in witnessing him speak. It had to be about 2 weeks ago at the Waukegan City Council meeting. And I didn't know what was going on. I usually just go to see what's happening with the city. I own a business in the city. And it was a lot of people outside. It was police on bicycles. And I'm like, what's actually happening in the city? Because mind you, I don't know what's happening. But I go upstairs and I see the gallery full of people. And Ahmad got up and spoke so eloquently about a topic that I've seen on the news, national news, a topic that I've seen on TikTok, Facebook, all over social media, but I guess I didn't really connect to it until that moment, bro. That's just me being honest. And a lot of people that spoke brought it home like this is a local issue just as well as it is a national issue. So thank you for coming out. Special guest in the building, Ahmad. He's here. I'm gonna give him a huge round of applause for coming. Thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit about this issue that's happening, Palestine, Gaza, Hamas. It's a lot of things that's happening. If you can give a kind of broad stroke of what's happening, and then how does it affect local situations?
Yeah, I know, for sure. First off, I really appreciate you, reaching out to me and wanting to inform, ourselves and others about this issue.
For sure.
Very broadly, Israel was founded kind of on a settler colonial state, sort of how the United States was.
Yeah.
And for the past 75 years, there's been frequent episodes of murder and onslaught against the native Palestinian population. This is the most recent since October is another flare-up of that, but this one's gone to a certain extreme. And what brings this home is it wouldn't happen without the United States, without us, without you and I, our tax dollars, without our complicity in it, and without, I guess, our diplomatic cover for it as well among the world. So that's what brings it home. Aside from it also being brought home through the citizens of Lake County and Waukegan, like I've had some of our distant relatives, like 60 of them, been killed. And it's just, that's another element to this that's separate than just the politics. The humanity of it is also something that connects to us.
Yeah. And when it was some people, I didn't hear the people that spoke before you guys, but there was a notion that this isn't a local issue. Don't put your business in it. For the city of Waukegan, it was more you guys are making a message to the city administration, like you guys play a part in this, and this is what you're doing. So explain to people exactly how that correlates directly, tax funding, whatever they're funding. How does that go?
Yeah, every city contributes towards the federal government. And I don't know the exact figures off the top of my head, but I can look them up for you. It's in the millions that each of these cities, including Waukegan, is given to the federal government, and those get then divided out. And most recently, like Biden's passed $14 billion at the beginning of the war. That's on top of $4 billion every year. And then now they've approved another $1 billion in weapons sales. Like it's connected to our tax dollars. It's kind of like saying, why does any national project have to do with Waukegan? It does. It's our money.
Yeah.
The federal government isn't collecting money from anybody. They're collecting it from you and I.
Yeah. Definitely collecting it from us.
Yeah.
I feel that every time I make a payment to something.
Yeah.
I did some research on the topic, and two sides are very passionate about this. And you got college campuses around the country protesting and blocking doors and making sure that their voice is heard. What do you say to some people that may be hijacking the moment? Because I've seen some of this argument on social media where some people aren't really concerned with the issue. They just want some fame about it or whatever. How do you feel about those people are kind of hijacking something that your family is connected to and back in Palestine and all these issues that's happening?
Despite me being Palestinian and, having family members there and frequently visiting, I'd honestly, for that, kind of kick it to the people in Gaza themselves. And they've been asked that, and they love it. They say that they want, the people in Gaza want the United States population and the governments to be aware of this issue. And I don't feel like they feel it's being hijacked, so I don't want to say it's being hijacked. And honestly, I was a student once in a college campus, and I applaud what they're doing. They are demanding that their school discloses where their investments are.
Yeah.
And if they're invested in part of this genocide and apartheid in Israel, then they're demanding that their schools divest from it. It's not even that they're doing it for fame. It's their tuition money, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I really, and this is so crazy to say even out loud, because I've talked to a lot of people that's from where I'm from, right? We, from the hood, I guess you would say, without putting any context to it, where a lot of those people don't feel like this matters to them. And I was listening to, I can't think of his name, but he was talking about apartheid in Africa and apartheid in any place can affect what's happening in the local neighborhood. And he broke it down so eloquently to say that if you don't care about what's happening there, then why should anyone care about what's happening where you are? Because it is a national issue of poverty that happens in American cities, just as any injustice what would happen in any other city. And he kind of opened my eyes up to that. And you guys did the same thing at the city council meeting, and opening my eyes to like, well, this is because to be honest, I was out of it. Like I didn't know what was happening.
I don't blame you, man.
But until it was personal for me, somebody that I heard hurt, it was a feeling attached to this. And I appreciated you guys doing that. That was pretty big. What is the end result that we want to happen, that you want to see happen on your side? We want to cease fire, of course, but what to stop this for the 10 years, 20 years from now, your children, my children, how do we prevent this from keep going? It's been going for a while. Yeah,
it's freedom. That's really it. Having people having the right to self-determination, not having settlements and colonial establishments coming in and taking up land and killing the people that are on it. It's rather simple. We've seen it happen in South Africa. And kind of to comment on what you said, like even some of the strongest supporters back from when I was in college, even till now, are the black community, and it's because these notions of like settler colonialism and greater than thou, like the Israelis feel superior to the Palestinians, it hits home with a lot of the racist overtones over here in the U.S. and even something as simple as like. Police training. A lot of the militarization of our police is because they trained in Israel. And part of the reason you don't hear about a lot of this is because it's kept under wraps. It's by design. They don't really want you to know that this straight up colonial power in 2024 exists and we are floating it. So
wow.
But end goal is to end that, end that settler colonial project. Pretty much the last one alive in the world is Israel-Palestine. Yeah.
And what can Waukeganites do? I mean, you graduated from Waukegan High School.
Warren. I'm in the 9th district.
Oh, okay. You over there. You in there. You in Waukegan.
Yeah. I'm a proud Waukeganite.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a war hawk. I'm going to be a North Chicago war hawk till it's over. But I think that when I'm hearing what you say is, forgive me, it sounds so big of an idea. Right? Mm-hmm. How do we individually come together? Let's say the city of Waukegan. Mm-hmm. What's that first step of us making this micro idea to some people? Because some people look at this as, but in reality, it's macro. Mm-hmm. How do we get this to become consciously macro for everybody?
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. So we show as the U.S. population that we're not okay with our government supporting this genocide and apartheid. What that little idea is, so for example, like what can we do as Waukeganites? We do what we can. Yeah. We can't go and stop the apartheid with our hands, but we can stop funding it. The United States is the sole source funder. And I'm not saying this. These are experts in the field say if Biden wants to stop what's going on right now, he just needs to pick up the phone and say, stop it. It's as simple as that. Because Israel knows that if it's at odds with the U.S., it will not be able to, survive you and I caring about it. That's why even whenever one of the other, the opposing side, I'm not sure who they were, said, this doesn't even matter what Waukegan says. And I responded, well, why do you care then? If Waukegan doesn't matter, why are you here saying that Waukegan shouldn't do something? It's because it does matter. Whenever Chicago said something, the world paid attention. When Waukegan said something as one of the top, 10 or 15 cities in Illinois,
Definitely.
that makes a statement. And Waukegan is one of the most diverse cities in Illinois. So I think, Waukegan, I should be proud. And we should push for it, at the very least, with our words. It doesn't cost us too much to demand from our council members, like, hey, say no to genocide. It's not even, we're not even talking about solutions or anything. We're just talking about stopping weapons supplying to them.
So the city of Waukegan can basically support a ceasefire. And what that looks like a resolution, I'm assuming, something like that.
It's a statement. It's a statement from officials stating that Waukegan and its citizens are calling on the U.S. government to push for a ceasefire and stop sending weapons. That'll stop everything. So it's a statement is really what it is, and it's powerful because it's coming from a city. It's not just from me or you. It's from all of us collectively.
Devil's advocate, I always try to play it.
Go ahead.
It makes sense. Why wouldn't the city of Waukegan do that? Why wouldn't they write the statement? Why wouldn't they put the statement out? Devil's advocate.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. The likely response that they would give of it's irrelevant, we've already went through that. It is relevant. My honest opinion, why wouldn't they? Money talks. There are lobbies that fund state representatives, U.S. senators. It's called AIPAC. These guys line the pockets of everyone. Not talking about even Waukegan. I don't know about Waukegan City Council, but we could talk about somebody that's on the state level, Brad Schneider. Yeah, you could see this guy's gotten $1 million from this lobby. Yeah, he's a millionaire because of him. So that's why. These lobbies are honestly, they mask themselves as a domestic thing, but they're really foreign interest. Foreigners coming to tell us in the United States what to do with our foreign policy and demanding that we keep giving billions. So I suspect that the pressure from these type of lobbies is what would really suppress something like this, because who in their right mind is opposed to stopping genocide and killing children? There's 40,000 dead, half of them are children. There's really no other side of it. And I think money talks. I think that's the only other thing that would cause any human to ignore it or shun it away or anything.
That's big politics. We've noticed that in a lot of different situations. Of course, being American, that some things should just be done because in the rights of humanity, you know what I mean? Things that we've dealt with right here at home in this subject I've heard people say it's a foreign topic. Through my small education of what I've done, it affects us here directly with a lot of different things. Like you said, weapons, tax money that we're spending, and those are funding those weapons to go to the different military options that people, even terrorist groups like was it Gaza, right? Well, when I've looked at what is it called?
I didn't quite follow. Not
Gaza. It's another thing that's in the middle. It's the thing that kind of it's the border, on the border of I can't even think of what it's called right now.
You talking about in Palestine?
Yes.
In the West Bank?
In the West Bank. Yes.
Yeah.
So what's happened? It's something there. What is it called?
You talking about settlements?
No. If you said it, I would think of what it is, but I can't think of what it is. It's an area that they're trying to that's in the middle that they tried to rule.
Jerusalem. In Jerusalem?
No, I don't think it's Jerusalem. But either way.
Who's trying to rule it? Israel?
Right. But the terrorist group was funded out of Iran or something like that, right? But basically what they were saying was this area is like no man's land in the middle of whatever's happening.
Oh, between Gaza and West Bank.
Right.
Yeah.
But basically the point of what I'm saying is that the funding that's happening is funding these people that are not governed, and they're doing whatever they want to do. They're kidnapping people, they're killing people, they're doing all this crazy stuff.
I'll counter that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you read something online or something about this. So I think what you're referring to is Hamas in Gaza. It may surprise you to know that actually there was a election of the people,
Right.
free and fair in 2000, and I think it was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
2006. The U.S. monitored it. The UN monitored it.
Yeah.
Everybody did.
Yeah.
It was free and fair.
But they overturned it or something. They did.
Well, no, they elected free and fair. The only democratic process over there in that region.
Yeah.
Elected Hamas as a political organization. And in the words of Hillary Clinton, she said they voted the wrong way, so we're going to punish them. So how dare they have freedom
Wow.
to choose who they want? So a lot of the notions about Iran's involvement and everything like that, it's honestly just scare tactics from like Western media and Israel. The truth is the Palestinian people, they made the fatal mistake of wanting democratic elections and voting the wrong way, in the words of Hillary Clinton. And Gaza's been under, bombardment, sanctions. They even have a policy called mowing the lawn. And I want to explain it. It's sinister. It's mowing human lives. That's how they view it. So every once in a while, you got to go kill some Palestinians to make sure they understand how dare they want to live in their land. So the U.S., however, I want to point out, we don't fund any of that stuff.
Yeah.
No. We fund Israel in their terrorist activities of doing illegal settlements in the West Bank, bombing Gaza every couple of years. This is not the first time. It's 2021, I think they did some. 2020, even during the pandemic, they were bombing it. 2014, they went in. 2018, they have this policy of every once in a while go mow the lawn and kill some people and just terrorize them. And maybe they'll eventually just go away. And that's who we're funding. That's who you and I are funding. So that's what I'm concerned about. Once we start giving money to the other side, fine, we could talk about them. But honestly, all we know as U.S. citizens is they've been, bombarded ever since they had a free and fair election that we approved as a free and fair election.
Wow. When did you, obviously you have an origin, your family's connected to it, being Palestinian. When did you become aware of what was happening? Was it at a young age where it came to you, you kind of grew up knowing what was happening, or did this happen after college, in college? When did you become really on point with what was happening?
Yeah, I think for me, personally, because I'm from Palestine, because I've always gone there as a kid and my parents used to take us, all my siblings, it's always been something I've been aware of. Like I remember memories of summers, we'd go down to our village and, the Israeli forces would enter.
Yeah.
They'd kill like some neighbor. They'd storm our building. And so these episodes of terror perpetrated by the Israelis has been something I've been familiar with from a young age. But I think, like many others, I really began to learn more about it as I entered college and approached like high school, learned the background of it. For me, it was like, why are these people doing this? And I finally found out it was, part of this, U.S.-led effort. But yeah, in college is where a lot of people open their minds up to a lot of things. And I think that's where a lot of my activism really picked up. But before that, even as a child, I'd go to these protests and stuff. And
what college did you go to?
U of I, Champaign.
Nice. Yeah. It's a good school.
Yeah, I love it.
It's a great school. I know a lot of people went to U of I. Now at your age, after post-college, what ways are you going to individually make sure that this message is heard? What plans do you have going forward to make sure that the ceasefire happens? What are you going to do? What's your plans?
My plans is be a concern. Do everything that you can at every level that you can. For me, going to the citywide, like Chicagoland-wide protests is something that anybody could do. Chicago isn't closed off to any of us.
Yeah.
Then I saw there was an effort within Waukegan, my own city, to push them for a ceasefire, so I do it. So do what you can wherever you can. I'm a big, believer in faith and God. I'm a Muslim, and God drives things to you, and just do what He drives towards you, and that's different for everybody. So for me, educating myself is very important about this. Educating those around me, and doing things at a local level, at a state level, with both lobbying as well as going to these larger protests and doing the pressure. Because honestly, the buck stops with us.
Yeah.
The U.S. citizens are the ones who could stop our government, and only our government can stop the killing of these children and civilians in Gaza and in Palestine. Only the U.S. will. We're solely the defenders of Israel. Like the UN recently voted on statehood for Palestine. Guess who was the only people voting against it? The U.S.,
Wow.
Israel, and some like random island. Probably they owe a favor to the U.S. or something. So it's us. That's why it's so important. It really is us. It does matter a lot. And whoever tells you it doesn't matter to us is just trying to hide that fact because they're afraid.
More of a personal question.
Yeah.
As a Muslim, how tough? Maybe not qualified that way with that the way the.
No, go ahead, man. Ask it.
Because some people feel like it's to be a true Muslim, and then look at what's been radicalized through whatever people think is radical. I guess. Is it tough to be a Muslim?
By the grace
In
of
America, I
God,
guess.
by the, I'll say this. For me, I've been very blessed. I've been very proud of being Muslim. I don't try to hide it, but I do know a lot of people that have faced a lot of consequences, especially after September 11th, that they felt like they've been lumped into this category, and I don't want, that's a real thing. Islamophobia is a real thing, and I felt it probably. I grew up in North Carolina. I was born and raised there, but came to Chicagoland when I was pretty young. And yeah, there was like some racism, not only for me being Muslim, but also for me not being white. But I will say that it has been tough for many people. I've been blessed to not feel the brunt of it a lot of times, and I've lived in a diverse city like Waukegan, so I felt very welcome. But it's a real problem, and honestly, what's happening now in Palestine is just exacerbating it. People are just, the Western media is trying to paint it as some, terrorists, and they try to lump everybody in with it, which is certainly not the case.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff, man. And again, coming from where I'm coming from, it's because I watch all different media, I watch all different journalism. I try to read as much as I can, and to do this show as long as I've been doing it and not interact with different diversity, to be a little bit more diverse was something I want to do in 2024 for sure. So I appreciate you coming on and giving us an insight, and I'm learning. I can honestly say that listening to you guys at that city council meeting, really, I kind of checked myself a little bit, because we can operate in silos and my issue is my issues, and Black America and poverty and racism, police brutality. I could make those my things, but I have an obligation to make sure that everyone knows whatever side you want. Maybe the other side comes on the show and say whatever they want to say. I don't know. I try not to choose sides, but I try to educate myself while people are listening at the same time. So
no, I appreciate that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And honestly, what you're doing is what everybody should do. Do what you can. Yeah. You have a podcast show. You're bringing this information to people that are there, and other people have other venues and different assets. So do what you can, and let's stop the genocide and support freedom and a free Palestine.
Patricia Dennis, you said it's all about doing things in decency and according to the law, respecting each other as people.
Yeah,
absolutely. Shout out to Patricia Dennis. Everybody that's watching right now, if y'all can share the video for me, hit the like button for me. That would be amazing. Any last words you want to let the people know, man?
No, I appreciate it. For me, just everybody read up on the topic. I'm not even trying to tell you to read something particular. Read up on the topic, learn about it, it's important to you, me, and everyone. So God bless everyone, and let's work for a free Palestine. And
Absolutely. There's a city council meeting tonight.
There is.
It starts at 7, I want to say, but they try to get there early. If you want to get a seat, might be packed tonight. Who knows? It's the Crazy Riot Show. It's the Boilos Crazy. Shout out to Lake County Media and all of our sponsors. We appreciate you guys listening in and tuning in. Make sure you get to YouTube and subscribe to Boilos Crazy Media, and make sure you subscribe to Lake County Media on YouTube. It's the Boilos Crazy. If you knew better, you'll do better. I need 2 sweaters. Appreciate you coming on, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.